Welcome back to an Overhead Athletics book review. We're going to actually be talking about the essentials of exercise and sports nutrition from science to practice, which is the book that is utilized for the ISSN certification, or the International Society of Sports Nutritionists certification. And it's a phenomenal book. It's their newest text, which is 2019, and I've been reading this book a ton. I'm nearly completed. I'm not actually all the way done, but I've gone through the majority of the sections. I have to go back through some of the stuff on amino acid digestion and some of the other things, but I love the book because it goes through basically all of the major sports supplements and vitamin and mineral supplements. Actually talks about all of the scientific literature. It basically is a summary. It's like a meta-analysis summary of the literature on basically any supplement that you may be considering as an athlete. The one thing it doesn't cover a lot of is supplementation as it relates to maybe more health concerns. Things like sulforaphane, those sorts of things. It doesn't cover some of the supplements that you may use just for general health or if you have a deficiency. But it's not a dietetics book, it's a sports nutrition book. And so it'll cover muscle building supplements, creatine, essential amino acids versus branched chain amino acids, all different vitamins, minerals, basically everything you would think about there, and talks about it, how it relates to sports performance. And then it does talk about the supplements that are performance enhancing supplements or ergogenic supplements, and it talks about their health benefits as well. So vitamin A and vision. So it'll talk about, maybe there's not necessarily a performance enhancement ergogenic effect from the supplementation of vitamin A, but if you have a deficiency, it may help in your vision. It may reduce blurred vision, those sorts of things. So it does talk about those, but I love the book in that it's very comprehensive and it goes through basically any supplement that you may consider utilizing and any supplement that you may actually prescribe. And so I would suggest getting on, reading the book, or getting looking at the table of contents, seeing if this is a book that you're interested in. I know that the International Society of Sports Nutritionists is very well respected, even among our dietitian colleagues. It's something that you could look into if you're interested in advancing your knowledge of sports nutrition, but understand it's a very scientific book. It's not a light read. It's very comprehensive and dense. It talks, all the way down to, some biochemical things and enzyme behavior and digestion. It's a pretty dense book. It's not a comprehensive study of everything dietetics, although that would be impossible. So if you have a background in exercise science, dietetics, or sports nutrition, or nutrition in general, this would be a great book for you to read. Like I said, if you're coming from the exercise science background, strength and conditioning background like myself, you're probably going to want to read a few of the sections, 2, 3, 4 times, which is, what I'm actually doing. So, and taking notes too, because, it's hard to remember every single, they go through a bunch of different carbohydrate supplements and how, each of these has a different purported ergogenic benefit, and then these ones are the ones that have been scientifically justified, and these are the ones that we don't know, mixed results, and these ones like nothing so far. So remembering which one had justification behind it, but also what each purported benefit was, because a lot of them have similar names too, and a lot of them have, I guess, similar purported benefits, and while some are very effective, others may not be. And so giving yourself a little list, breaking down each supplement, taking notes on each one is very beneficial, but coming in with a prior knowledge of some sort of nutrition would be very, very beneficial, specifically digestion, because that's essential to understanding nutrition in general. It's hard to just go through, okay, well, this was shown in this study, this was shown in this study. Well, it may not work if you combine this and this, because we have an entire gut biome, and how this supplement is digested with this food, which has this molecular substrate in it, can totally alter our entire digestion profile, and how much uptake we have of each one, and then the bioavailability is totally altered when taking one supplement or one food with another. So I think it's important to understand digestion, and I think this is a great book if you're looking for a scientific book on all of the supplements and then, dietary recommendations. It's not going to be a book that's going to go through food allergies or intolerance, or even a book that's going to go through, deficiency in different things. It's going to talk about the percent of people who have a deficiency, the percent of athletes, different populations of people that have been studied. They have a huge scientific literature basis. They have their own journal, and they do a ton of studies themselves, which are designed to advance knowledge rather than confirm existing knowledge. Often they have a ton of stuff to actually advance the knowledge in sports nutrition. And so even if I've talked to people online, LinkedIn, things like that, even if you're a dietitian, this may be something you're interested in. While you have a huge depth of knowledge on the fundamentals of digestion and nutrition, this book kind of talks about how different things can be applied to athletes, which you may not have gotten in your dietetics studies. The application of certain supplements and nutritional aids or diet plans with the endurance athlete as opposed to the strength training or bodybuilding athlete is going to be totally different. So I recommend the book for you guys that have that depth of knowledge. Be much easier to go through than someone like myself who has an exercise science background, but no dietetics or nutrition science degree or anything like that. When you're in exercise science, you take a few nutrition classes and you take very, very little on the actual nutrition sciences and dietetics component, and the same thing in PT school. So great book if you're in the rehabilitation field or if you're a strength and conditioning coach, something like that, and you want the science. I know there's other books that talk more about behavior modification, which is equally important. But, if you're somebody that works in strength and conditioning, personal training, physical therapy, those sorts of things, this is an awesome book to actually give you a foundational knowledge of various supplements and whether they're supported or not supported by the current literature, and then why or their potential mechanism and how they may potentially work. And especially so if like I said, if you had a limited history of education in nutrition in your college or your traditional education, this would be a great supplement to that. And like I said, it is one of the primary textbooks for the ISSN, the certification in sports nutrition from the International Society of Sports Nutritionists. So if you're looking to get that, this is the book to get. I actually have one of their other recommended texts. The name escapes me at this time, and I love this book a lot more. I like the way it's broken down. I think it's digestible cognitively in the way it's written, and also I think that it's very comprehensive in its analysis of the science, and then also talking about the population, which is equally important, talking about the population which utilize a certain supplement or a certain nutritional plan or diet plan versus, hey, this was effective, this wasn't effective. That's not how it works. We know that people are individuals, and we know that different diets will work in different ways for different people. So I would check this book out if you want to learn more about the science. If you think, hey, I don't have any foundation in sports nutrition, this may not be the place to start, but it may be where you want to go if you want to work in sports nutrition. And I think it's a useful book, even if you have more advanced education, because from what I've found, something different out there, but I haven't found anything that actually summarizes and displays the information of countless studies on different diets and supplements for the athlete in a way where, hey, there's a full page here all about vitamin B6 specifically for the athletic population. And then if there's not a ton of information for athletes, hey, here's what it is for general population. Here's why it may be or may not be useful to supplement this in the diet or add in quality foods that contain this certain thing, in the case of vitamin B6, whatever it is, that contain it, and here's what we think it may or may not do for that particular athlete or for all athletes. In that respect, I think it's a useful resource, if anything else, for anybody in the field of nutrition, strength and conditioning, or rehabilitation. I would check the book out. In these videos, you're like, wow, you got a lot of positive reviews. Well, I'm trying to cover a lot of books and a lot of educational sources that I believe to be trustworthy. I don't want to just come on here and pick a book that I think is horrible and then just berate it. I'd rather pick the positive things that people may be looking into, but I'm happy to review anything that you guys email me about or comment in the comment section. I obviously have to read the book first, but I will review it if you guys are requesting it. So let me know in the comments or send me an email, overheadathletics@gmail.com, and I'll look into it for you guys if you want. See you guys in the next video.